Hello everybody, it is Tuesday 2 o'clock and time for our live tile number 406. Goodness me, it sounds not many when you say it quick. What have I done today? I've used a little bit of ink and I've spritzed it with a bit of water just to give it a little bit of an interest in the background there. And first thing I'm going to do is come in with a pencil. I'm just going to find the middle. Don't need to put a line across the whole thing. I'm just going to put one in sort of there. Okay, it's about, I don't know, 4 centimetres or something like that. And then crossing there as well. I'm also going to do one this way. Might extend them in a minute. Let me see how I feel. And one in that way as well. So I've got a bit of a star in the middle. Okay. Let's go in and have a little look at this. Okay, so if I'm going to do a little bit of a measurement, let's have a look. It's not quite seeing the light there. That's only about, yeah, I was right with the 2 centimetres or so. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger, about 2.5, something like that. But do it lightly because I don't want to keep the pencil when I've finished. So let's do that with all of them. I'm just going to go a little bit bigger. Okay, I'd rather go a little bit bigger than have to sort of try and make it smaller. If you know what I mean, it's easier, isn't it? Okay, so next one then. Let's come in with pen. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little loop in here. But when I say loop, I want to sort of come up. I might do it in pencil actually. Flatten at the top and back down. Yeah, I think I will. Just so we've all got that. Okay, stick in pencil for a bit. All right, so along. And down, okay. And then if I turn it round, let's do the same again. Up, along, and down. And the same again. Up, along, and down. And the same again. Up, along, and down. Okay, that's where we're at the minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around those. Now if yours are a little bit wider than mine, you can draw inside, but being that mine are a little bit narrow, I'm going to draw around the outside like that. So I've got kind of 2 lines going, you see, like that. So sometimes I know it's great to do a little bit of a sketchy line, but if you can, try and keep it sort of one line. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So you see I've got a confident line there. I know that one's a bit off, but you see there where I sketched it, see it's a bit wobbly, whereas that one it isn't so much. But I think it's a bit of practice. It might be that you start, I always find it easier coming towards me, so maybe start from the top and come down part way, and the same on the other side, come along and down that way. Okay. And then same on this one. Along and down. And this one along and down. Okay. Let's have a little look at that. So there we go. That kind of thing. So our next stage, I'm going to come in now on a bit of a bigger shape here. So I'm going to come in and let's have a look. I'm going to go from about here, you see there, and I'm going to come up and around. So it's a similar shape, but you see it's a lot wider this time. Let's try that again on this one. So again, I've not gone to the middle. Look, I've put myself a little mark and a little mark, and then very gently work my way around and back in. And again. So a little mark so I know where I'm starting and where I'm heading. I'm doing it this way so hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. But if you want to draw it that way, that's fine. You see I've got sort of similar. And one more. So again, if I put my marks in, and I'm going to come up and along and then down as we go. Okay. so we can have a look at these before I decide that I'm happy, you know, I'm happy with them. That's a little bit round there. And I just get rid of the lines as I'm going. So it was a little bit wobblier than the others. Okay. So again, I'm going to come around and put that line in. So round the outer edge and put the line in. Okay, so that is find it very easy to do that, and then you can come in and do those afterwards. I always find it better to draw a line towards me and along and in, along and in. See? Do another. Along and in. You see? So we've got that kind of a thing. Okay. So I know that one looks a little bit smaller than that one. I think I'm going to come in, just because I can, because I've done it in pencil. It just shows that you can change it if you want to. Just going a little bit wider there. Let's have a little look at what we've got. Okay, there we go. So that looks a bit flat compared to that one. We can be doing this all afternoon, couldn't we? But sometimes I think it's nice that you see that you can make changes if you want to, so you don't have to stick with something. You can follow along. So they're a little bit flatter, they're a bit rounder, that's fine. As long as you've got something that looks a little bit like that, that's all good. Okay, so at this point I'm going to bring a pen in. Let's have a look. And I'm not going to start in the middle with the small ones, I'm going to start with this one. Because what I want to do, I'm going to start with this piece here. Yeah? And let's draw it round the outside there. And along there. Okay. And the same with this one, along here. And down. And down there. So I've got that one in. But then what I want to do, if you see where I've got these two here, I'm going to take that down to the middle there. Okay, so I've gone over this little one, and this one I'm going to come and take it all the way, it's getting thinner and thinner, down to the point. Okay, so this bit here, I'm going to draw in that section there now, and around there, and I'm going to draw in that section there. Okay. So this one is coming up and it's going over that one and in there. So let's try that again. I'm going to do it with this one. So first thing first, I'm going to draw in these two lines. Just following along with the pencil that I've already put in place there. And then this one. You see I've stopped part way because I wanted to give myself a bit of a breather with that line. Okay. And then this one here, I'm going to come over into the main point in the middle there. And then this line, I'm going to come over and it's going to join to the point. So it's getting thinner there. And then on this side and this side of the smaller loop, I'm going to draw that in with pen now. And again, you see they're all going to that point. All going to that point. So let's take the next one and let's turn it this way for a moment because I'm going to draw those two in with pen. First that one and then this one. Okay. And then let's have a look, same thing again, see here. I'm going to come over and to the point and then over and to the point. And then this little thing in the middle here. In we go. And in we go. And as we sort of work our way along. Okay. And then the next one. Same sort of thing, I'm going to draw that one. And then I'm going to draw that one. Alright, getting a bit more confident now. And this bit here, over. And with that one, to the point. And then draw this one in. And again, they're all going to that point in the middle there. Okay, let's have a little look at what we've got there. Okay, so far so good. So we've got lines going from there, but it sort of stops here. So what I want to do with this one is I'm going to go underneath. So I'm going to imagine that that line's continuing. Let's do this one first because that's easier to go to the point. And then this one, same sort of thing. So you see how that one goes around and down. And let's look at this one. So again, underneath and underneath. And again, underneath each one. And again, underneath. Okay, so just while we're on this one, you see I've sort of almost done it here. I'm thickening up this area here on that piece. Okay, just sort of around the corner, then it goes back to that line. You see, it's slightly thickened. So if I do the same here, look, so it sort of starts there and it gets a little bit thicker as we work our way around. And we go. And this one. So again, lightly starting, and we're going to get a little bit thicker as we go around that corner and down into there. And then last one. So if you find you've got it a little bit wobbly there, you can sort it out while you're adding that little bit of thickness in. Okay, so let's go in a little bit more now. And I want to look at this little space here. So where we came out and over, we've got a little shape there. What I want to do is put some little lines in. Slightly curved. Starting at the top and working my way down and fill in every other one so we get that kind of a stripy shape. Working my way along, and then if I do another one, so see this is where it came over, so to the left of that, let's put those little lines in. Notice that I'm filling the top one in each time. I've not worked out how many is in there. I don't know if it's the same amount as the last one, but as long as you start at the top, it really doesn't matter. Same again, stripes in that little space there. Got a slight curve on them. If I fill it in spaces. And the next one, little curves. There we go. So see how that kind of works its way around. There we go. Little stripes. Let's have a look at that. Okay. So I'm going to come back to this bit in the middle in a short while. I want to sort of put a few things around this outside edge here. So I'm going to sort of come in and create a little bit of a line. And then I come back down. I'm going to create quite a big sort of bump there. Okay. And then I'm going to take this line in and join it to the middle. See, it's got a slight curve in it. Yours might not have. And then I'm going to put little lines in that bit. Okay. And let's go in a bit. Let's do another one. So this time, if you want to, you can come from the bottom. Now you've sort of got the hang of what we're doing there. Let's put a little curve in there. See, it's not as tall. So this time, this shape is going to go underneath. Now if you would rather do that in pencil to get the shape, you can do that. And then of course you can rub out the bits that you don't want anymore. So let's have a little look at that. Okay. So I'm going to do something similar to the other two. I'm not looking at it particularly. So let's... Sometimes it's nice to start at this top edge and put that element in first, and then you can continue it down and round. Does that make sense? So I'm going to twist that one round this time. Put one in there. And come back and do the stripes in a bit. I can get the two shapes in first. So let's do another one. I'm going to do two in each of them. Let's see where it works. So again, because I want one here, I'm going to draw that in first. I've got a bit of a curve look. I'm drawing that top section in. And then I can bring that in. It's a lot easier. So maybe I'll do one there. So I've got it exactly where I want it. And then I can put the line in at the bottom. The same sort of thing here. So let's have one there, and you see I can kind of follow that in to create another, or you can do it that way. Let's go in a little bit more there. Alright, so let's put those little lines in and kind of along. See, I've not really curved them. Just about filling the space in. I know sometimes we'll tend to fill those in completely, but I'm coming in with a few little lines on there, and that one. I'm putting there, imagining where it starts and stops. And that, okay. So you see we've got these little shapes that are formed. It's not on everyone, so while I'm here, I can come and fill those in with a few little bubbles. You notice I started in the middle, starting there, and then fill in either side. Of course, any little gaps I can fill in with a bit of ink in there. Okay, oh, let's put some lines in that as we go. And same on this one. Then you can do crosses if you want, or you can, as I say, fill them in completely, colour them in, whatever you want to do there. That's fine. That's giving us a good start. Now I don't have any crossovers in those two. You see, they've sort of come to the point, so I'm not going to put any bubbles in there. But that's fine. It's just sort of how it worked out. I didn't plan it that way, but that's how it worked. Okay, so let's come on in now. Same sort of thing. I'm going to come from here, create another line. But this time it's going to come over, create a loop. Let's go in a little bit so you can see that. See, from the middle, on over with a loop. And then as I'm following that line around, I'm going to do another, coming from it, but a little bit smaller. So, following the same line that I've drawn, I'm going to come off it again. So I'm going to take it underneath there. Over there. You see, I can decide now what's going under and what's going over. So let's put one in there, just a little one at the bottom. And then following that line, another. So this time, look, I'm going to go over. Create another little shape there. And then smaller one. I'm going to do an even smaller one. My way down the line, and just because I've got space. Another one in there. And again, I can fit another one in there. And a little one on that side. So let's just have a little look at what we've done there. Right. So we started here, created this curve, put a little one in, round this curve and another one. Then we've come off of that line, created another, and then another. So each one is sort of connected to the other, and they're getting small little pieces in between as well. So I'm going to do that in each space, and I'm not going to try and make it look the same, but I'm going to decide, see here I can go over this bit, or I can make it go under. And because we're filling these little sections in with ink and there's single lines, we can do that kind of thing. We can make that decision as to what we want to do with it. You see? So here I can go up there, but I'm going to come off of this one. Let's go over. You see, everybody's is going to be slightly different now because you're all sort of looking at your tile in a different way. And it's going to be, you know, I'm going to bring one up off here, look, it's going to go under. Depending on where you're going to head off with this. So let's do another. So again, I'm going to come over this one, you see, and under there. Put that little loop on. Put another little loop in. And then again. So it's sort of almost, you know, you deciding where this is going to sit. So another one there, see? And then bring another. See, that first one went this way, so it sort of feels fitting that we're going to go this way with this one. See, that sits underneath. But yours might not. Yours might go to the front. So that's going underneath that one.
Cup of tea.
Oh, thank you, Leslie.
Bye, guys.
She is. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let's do another. I'm going to do this one, then we'll have a look at it and see what we've got. So I'm going to take that under. Again, my decision. You can have them all over if you want. You can do them in different colours. So I'm going to have that going under there. Look, I'll have it coming over there. It's nice to be able to sort of switch it round a little bit. And do so without worrying too much, I think, about which way things are going and does it look right. It doesn't really matter because they're all going to be different. So another one there, look. Okay, let's have a little look at this. Alright, so far so good. So let's have a look in these little spaces now and see if we've got any more shapes. So look here, we've got one. And there's a couple in there as well. So I'm going to fill that one in with bubbles. And a couple there, look. Fill with bubbles. And this one, is it a shape or is it two lines connecting? It's two lines going in different ways, isn't it? So it's possibly, I'm going to leave that one, yeah? Okay, let's have a little look at the rest of it. All right, so it's starting to build quite nicely now, but it still needs a little bit more around it. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to bring some more of these little shapes in, but we can sort of wrap around and come around and in here and start to sort of extend curls in and around. Let's put some little ones, you see, as they get sort of towards the top. So again, let's put one in here. So I'm going to be sort of really careful and look at where I'm going with this, because I want to make sure that I've got those lines sort of all swirling around, and I'm deciding which one goes where. As I work my way around, so I'm going to have a couple at the top there. And then this one. It's going to be sort of there. I'm going to get a little one in there maybe. Okay, like that. So it's sort of giving me a little bit more of a fancy shape around that top edge. So what I want to do now, I want to come back into these shapes here. Let's go in a little bit more. And let's have a look. I'm just going to rub out a bit of pencil that we don't really need anymore. Just make sure, of course, that your ink's dry. You don't want to be doing this whilst it's wet or anything. Okay. So let's have a look. I've got a little sort of shape here. So I'm going to come in and fill that shape with another. See, I've just sort of followed around what I've got there. And I'm going to do that with all of my shapes. So, you know, have a look, see what you've got. And create these little shapes within. So, who knows what it's going to end up looking like, because, you know, all of them are going to be different. But we're just working within those little shapes there. Okay. So I'm going to bring my 5 pen in there, and what I'm going to do is quite radical, I suppose, is it doesn't feel too bad filling all these little shapes with some ink. Let's get those done first, but then when you've got something a bit larger, this is where I'd usually use my brush pen, which I might just go and get my brush pen. See, a 5's great for them. What's just the other side of my desk. There we go. And because that, I say, is a little bit larger, it just feels easier using the brush pen. Can come back to my 5 and fill in any of the other little bits, and then of course if I'm drawing to a 3. Okay, let's have a little look at that. You see, so let's I might as well stick with my 5 and find all these shapes within, and sometimes it is easier to fill it in with ink as you're going, because then you don't miss one. Or hopefully you don't. And you can always go back and do it, I know. We're done as we're going. Okay. Let's have one in there. See, that's going to be quite a large sort of shape. And so is this one, so I'm going to come in with my brush for those. But do these while I'm at it. A little bit there, look. And then brush. I say, you can use whatever you like. Please don't think you've got to copy me exactly. And if you don't want to fill them in, you can always fill it with bubbles or lines again. Or you can use a different colour. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's do this one. Shape here. So that's quite a large shape, so I'll come back with my brush for that one. That one can be there. That one, see the little there. It's amazing how it changes the shape. It looks different when you start putting bits of ink in there. See, that's going to be quite a large piece as well. Shape that there. But it's really good practice as well, actually, for drawing lines and things when you do this, because you've already got a shape to work to and you're following around. as you go. And into that one. And this one. Okay. Last one. So following it round again. See, first one there, into this one. So I am actually drawing around these with a 5, being that I'm using that to fill in anyway. I might as well. And then anything larger coming in with the brush. And working it round. And into these ones. So this is going to be quite a large one there. But did it. I'm just going to put the lid on that one. And here we go. Look that bit. And this one. Okay. You see, I've actually gone into these little spaces here as well, you know, and these little ones, so might as well just come back in. And I'm not going to worry too much about that one. See, I've got a space there, so anything you can find, you're going to fill it in. A bit there, look. Okay, all right, so 5 away, brush away. Just going to do a little bit of one there. And first things first, I'm going to just bring my, I know I usually do this at the end, but I'm going to bring my white gel pen in, because on those stripes, I want to put that middle line in. Okay, make sure it works first, that would help. Because they're quite narrow, so we're not really going to get much shading in there, but it definitely needs that little highlighted stripe there. And in we go. So I'm going to bring, let's have a look, a bit of colour in. I've got a bit of an orange background. I'm going to stick with that. It's got my mid-orange. And this sort of line over the top here, let's just get rid of that pencil. Let's just add some orange, that mid-orange that I'm using around there. And you see I'm defining where that space is, so just giving myself a little bit of a reminder as to where that is. See, it's going under there and coming round and going over there. Okay, let's have a little look at that. There you go. So I'm going to do that with each one of those. So I'm not trying to blend it or anything, just adding it in. And of course, if you're using regular pencil and you're not going to add any colour to this, just bear with me for a minute. Because I'm putting the lightest on first. You'll come in a minute with the next colour. Okay, just get some of that in. Okay, so this is what you do with your regular pencil now. I'm coming in with my Clementine, and you see where it's going underneath here. I'm going to add some to either side of that and just sort of work it in. All right, so it's darker there, getting lighter. And then here, just a little bit at the bottom. So that and that is where you'd put your regular pencil and you soften it off with your Tortillon. Not being that I'm using a colour, I don't need to do that. Of course, if you're using watercolours, then again, you would put your colour where I'm putting my darker one, and then you could sort of push it around with a bit of water. You could put 2 colours in, and then you could work on them. There you go. Okay. So coming in with, let's have a look, a bit of bright red. So again, I'm going to add some colour on that shape, the one that we started with. So I've not pressed on too much there. Same with this one. Might come back in with a layer of that, but I want to just lay the colour down first. And again, hang fire if you're just using a regular pencil, because you don't need to do that particular step. And then Sanntagle red. Oh no, there we go. It wasn't where I was expecting it to be in my set. And again, look where it's going underneath. I'm going to add some underneath. You see, so it's a little bit darker there, a little bit in there. So let's do that on each one. So I'm just applying just a little bit more pressure there on each side. So just where it goes underneath, and then a little bit at the bottom. Same again, underneath, and a little bit at the bottom. And I'm coming back in with that light red and just giving it an extra kind of layer in there. Okay, so sort of pour it around, doesn't need a massive amount, it needs a little bit of going through. Okay, so let's come back in now. I'm just going to put the lid on my pen there with our regular pencil. Let's have a look at where we're at so far. Okay, we've got that going on. So first things first then, what I'm going to do is bring some pencil all the way along the inside of that shape there. So even if I've had to go over any black, any coloured pencil, my stripes, that's fine. All the way over the top and around and in. Okay, so along this bit, around the edge there, to this bit, same line there. Okay, so all 4 of those done. Let's get the Tortillon and blend those out to start with. So nice sort of gentle swirls. You can be quite sort of round here, quite large, but as you get further along, you're just going to put a little bit on there. So this is not a problem, but when you come to these smaller areas, just give them a little bit of a gentle soften. Across the top though, it's fine. A bit down there. Okay. So going over everything, a bit there. Going over everything. Down there. Okay, that's our first little bit. And pencil again. And I want to go around the outer edge. Again, don't be sort of too shy with this. You know, you can put some on, you can afford to add a little bit in there. And then a little bit at the bottom of those while I'm at it. I'm not going to worry about that one. So, let's see, just sort of get in the bottom of those. Work my way around. And that one. So there's going to be quite a bit of graphite on this once we've done. See the bubbles? Let's add a little bit in there, only if you can. If they're too small, don't worry about it. Soften them off ever so slightly. And then around we go, same as before. And around. Sort of swirling it. Again, very little pressure here, it doesn't need much. But we just want to give it a little bit of a shape. Again, don't worry about going too far out. You can do that, it's fine. Just do a bit more. Same on this one. Okay. So I'm going to come back in with my pen for a minute. And looking at my red sort of loops that we did first, see on the right hand side, I'm going to come back in and redefine that edge, just that outside edge. Just that most of the outside edge, so it's the same edge. So you see it's this one here, around the outside, and then I'm coming inside there. Just neaten it up a bit. So outside edge, inside edge, outside edge, and inside edge. Okay, so I can sort of put my stripes back in a little bit. That one's sort of lost its way a bit, but that's okay. And then white pen again. I'm going to reapply that one because I did use quite a lot of. Let's just do them all again so we know we've got them. And then where we've got these little shapes here, I'm going to bring in some little white dots, like stars in there. Just gives it a little bit of depth. It makes it look more than it, not as flat. But again, you can use a coloured or a glittered gel pen for this if you want to. And remember that it takes a little bit longer for the gel pen to dry. So it's always worth just giving it that little bit of extra time. Now you notice I'm actually working my way around clockwise, so I don't put my hand all over it. You might want to work in the opposite direction. So I don't want it to smudge. Okay. And on to that next one. And there we go. Just going to put some more there. And into this one. So, you know, it's always pays to sometimes have that little bit of a real dark sort of space, because you can come in and add extra bits to it. You know, if always you find that you've got a space and it's not quite worked for you and you think, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with that, you can always fill it in and go back in with white pen after. So have a look at that. It is almost there. I'm going to come back in with my pen for a moment and sort of over the top there. Going to give it an extra layer. So you see, just thickening up just on that top bit there. It's almost like I'm putting the black back on because of course the graphite's now sitting over the top of it. Just want to give it a little bit of a highlight. Okay, so there we go. 406 already done, sorted and coloured. And the last thing to do, a bit of an initial. I'm going to put it up in that corner there. There you go, all done for today. So hope you have fun having a go at this one. Try it out if you want, different sizes, different colours, or maybe do it completely monochrome and see what happens there, and have a bit of fun with it. So okay, I'm going to leave you to it. If you're around on Friday, of course, I'll be doing another one at 2 o'clock as usual. But of course, don't forget, if you're around Thursday afternoon, I'll be on Hobby Maker with our launch of our book 12, so that should be interesting. And okay, I will catch you then at some point. So have a good day, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.